Welcome everyone. In the next lecture on successive differentiation, in the previous lecture we have discussed what is meant by successive differentiation, and then we have discussed simple problem based on the algebraic functions. Now in this lecture we are mainly focusing on the problems where the trigonometric functions are involved. Just have a look on this particular. I open the PDF file. See here from the formula number 8 to 13, everywhere the trigonometric terms are involved. Then how to get their nth order derivative? That's a very important point. Now just come to this example. Here there is a product of cos x into cos 2x into cos 3x is given. Now if you just look at the formula list, you have the cos of ax plus b only. There is no product of cosine function, and even cos is expressed as a cos ax plus b. Cos is expressed as cos of ax plus b, and here only we have cos 3x or cos 2x. But I just like to tell you cos ax plus b, if I take b as 0 and a as 3, then what I will get? I am getting the cos 3x. If again b is 0 and a is 2, then what I am getting? Cos 2x. And similarly, if a is 1 and b is 0, then we get cos x. So that means this cos x into cos 2x into cos 3x is a combination of, or say the multiplication of cos ax plus b term, where a and b is where a is different at every term and b is 0. Got it? As my formula is standing for y is equal to cos ax plus b, the yn will be a raised to n into cos of ax plus b plus n pi by 2. Just have a look on this, the formula. Y is equal to cos ax plus b, a raised to n cos ax plus b plus n pi by 2. Is it? So first I need to simplify this product. That means I need to separate out the terms either in terms of addition or subtraction. So how can proceed? So let's start. Y is equal to cos x into cos 2x into cos 3x. First I will combine these two terms. How I can combine this? We know the formula 2 cos a cos b. What is 2 cos a cos b? It is cos a plus b plus cos a minus b. Use this. So we have cos x. One more thing, the 2 is not present. So what I do? I shift it to the right hand side. It becomes 1 by 2 times cos 2x plus 3x plus cos 2x minus 3x. So and this is 1 by 2, I will keep outside, cos x into cos 5x plus cos x. Now some of you confused, sir, why you directly write this as a cos x? Because the 2x minus 3x is minus x, but we know cos of minus x is cos x. Sin of minus x is minus sin x. Only in case of sin there is a difference, right? So hence this is equals to 1 by 2 as it is. I multiply by cos x to the bracket. We get cos x into cos 5x plus cos square x. Again for the first term we will apply the same formula, that is 2 cos a cos b. So hence we need to arrange the term 1 by 2 into bracket cos x plus 5x. Okay, I'll directly write this because I already discussed this in the for the two terms. So I'll directly write here cos 6x plus cos 4x. Okay, plus what is cos square x? We know that 2 cos square theta, and here I am taking x. 2 cos square x is equal to 1 plus cos 2x. So hence my answer is 1 by 2 into bracket 1 plus cos 2x. So one can have 1 by 2 common from both the terms. So we get 1 by 4 outside, and inside we get cos 6x plus cos 4x plus 1 plus cos 2x. So the nth order derivative is anyhow going to be a 0. So leave it. Now think of the separate term cos 6x. Now follow this formula. What is a here? 6. So we get 6 raised to n into cos of 6x plus n pi by 2. In the second, the a is 4 and b will be 0. So this is 4 raised to n cos 4x plus n pi by 2. And for the last term, it is 2 raised to n into cos of 2x plus n pi by 2. This is my required nth order derivative of the given function. Now one more problem I like to give you as a homework. You try on your own. Homework question. Y is equal to sin square x into cos cube x. Now the question comes, what procedure you will follow? Okay, let's see. I will provide you the solution. Is it? It would be a okay. You try this problem. I'll try another one, which is quite interesting. I'll take the question from the university examination mainly. So the question is, okay, means I'll take a little bit of addition in that problem. If y is equal to 2 raised to x into sin square x into cos cube x, find yn. Yeah. Now how to evaluate this? Now one thing is, you keep that 2 raised to x outside or away from your calculation part. Try to simplify this sin square x into cos cube x. Like for this example, already I am going to solve it. No worry about that. So I just starts with sin square x into cos cube x. So which can be written as sin square x into cos square x into cos x. Now why I split it like this? Because here I am having sin square and cos square. So one can write this as a sin x into cos x bracket square. But if I have 2 sin x into cos x, then I can replace it by sin 2x. Is it? So now the 2 is not present. So what is to be adjusted? We need to divide by 2. But see, there is a bracket square. So what is a 2 square? 4. So I divide it by 4. Hence, and I am multiplying it by 4. So and this is 2 sin x into cos x bracket square into cos x divided by 4. So this is sin square 2x into cos x. Now what is the further adjustment? The further adjustment is quite easy. We know that 2 sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta. So one can adjust it as sin square theta as 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2. Is it? Now here theta is what? 2x. So here what I am getting? The 2 theta becomes 2 into 2x, that is 4x. So hence we get 1 minus, sorry, not cosine, it's a cos 4x. So 1 minus cos 4x. Is it? 1 minus cos 4x divided by 2. But already the 4 is present there. So 4 into 2 into cos x. So this is 1 by 8 into bracket cos x minus cos 4x. Sorry, I just forget the term. I am multiplying the bracket by the cos x. मी इथे cos x ने आत multiply करतोय ना. So I'll get here cos 4x into cos x. Again, there is a question mark with this product. We have already discussed in the previous example. So we get 1 by 8 into bracket cos x minus 1 by 2 into bracket cos 4x and x. So 4x plus x, that gives me 5x plus cos 4x minus x, that gives me cos 3x. This way. So hence 2 raised to y is equal to 2 raised to x into sine square x into cos cube x can be written as 1 upon 8 into bracket, sorry, not 1 upon 8, we should start with the 2 raised to x. So 2 raised to x into the product of sine square x into cos cube x can be given as 1 upon 8 into bracket cos x minus 1 by 2 into cos 5x plus 1 by 2 into cos 3x. Now multiply by 2 raised to x to the bracket, and if possible we can have this 1 by 2 common. Okay, right now keep that 1 by 2 outside, inside. So we have 2 raised to x into cos x minus 1 by 2 into 2 raised to x into cos 5x plus 1 by 2 into 2 raised to x into cos 3x. Now just open the formula PDF. See the formula, k raised to x into cos bx plus c. I just mentioned that formula here. Y is equal to k raised to x into cos, sorry, not k raised to x, what is there? Yeah, k raised to x into cos bx plus c. Then what is yn? It is nth order derivative. So nth order derivative would be given as r raised to n into k raised to x into cos bx plus c plus n phi, where r is equal to square root of log 2 plus b square, and the phi will be, sorry, it's a tan inverse of b by log k. Sorry, here it is not log 2, it's a log k. Got it? Now just look at this each term. The cos bx plus c, the b is different in each case. So for each case, I'll calculate the value of r and phi separately. So hence, what I do, I call the first term r value as r1, for second term the r value as r2, and the third r as r3. So we have 1 upon 8 into bracket r1 into 2 raised to x into cos x plus n phi 1. Like as r1, I call it as a phi 1 minus 1 by 2 into r2 2 raised to x into cos phi x plus n phi 2 plus, okay, just a minute, this minus n is common to this bracket, so the minus n should be given inside. Yeah, there is a minus, here also minus, and here also minus. Minus 1 by 2 into r3, the third term, the value of r would be r3 into 2 raised to x into cos 3x plus n into phi 3. Is this okay? Now what is R1, R2 and R3? That we have to mention. So here R1 is equal to square root of, in each term we have 2 raised to x, so log 2 as it is, so log 2 square plus b square. In the first, the b is 1. In the R2, again log 2 is the same term, that is log 2 square plus b square, that is phi square. And in R3 we have square root of log 2 square plus phi 3. Here it is 3 square. Now what is phi 1? Phi is b tan inverse of b by log k na. So this is tan inverse of b is 1. So 1 by log 2. Phi 2 is tan inverse of the b is 5 in the middle term. So 5 by log 2. And in the third, phi 3 will be tan inverse of b. B is 3 here. So 3 by log 2. This is the nth order derivative. Are you clear with this? Okay. So now I am giving you one problem for homework. Now you just leave the previous example because already I have done the main part of it. So I just post a new question. If y is equal to e raised to 2x into cos 2x into cos x, find yn. That is my first question for homework. And the second is, if y is equal to sin x into sin 2x into sin 3x, then find yn. So you try both the homeworks and post your answers by tomorrow morning. I am waiting for your reply. Now I will come up with one more example, which is actually which is actually little, different than the process which we are following right now. But still, this question is very interesting. Very few times it was asked, but everyone should know how to solve this type of example. That's why I am going to discuss in this lecture. Yeah. Come to the simple problem from this. If y is equal to 1 upon x square plus a square, prove that yn is equal to minus 1 raised to n into n factorial divided by a raised to n plus 2 into sin raised to n plus 1, sin raised to n plus 1 theta into sin of n plus 1 theta, where theta is equal to tan inverse of a upon x. Yes, we have to attempt this question. How to solve it? Let's come to the solution. Y is equal to 1 upon x square plus a square. So whenever there is a x square plus a square kind of terms are present, it is definitely factorized like this: 1 upon, okay, I just show the factorization of it separately. X square plus a square is equal to 0. This implies x square is equal to minus a square. Taking the square roots on the both sides, we have x is equal to plus or minus square root of minus a square. As the minus sign coming inside the square root, we get plus or minus As there is a minus sign inside, we get a I, and the square root of a square will be a. So we get x is equal to ai and minus ai as a two roots. So hence, if we think of the factorization of x square plus a square, then it can be written as x minus ai into x plus ai. That means the complex terms are present. So hence I am getting x minus ai into x plus ai. With a similar line, one can go for the partial fraction. I am not going to use much time for this, but I directly write down the terms 1 upon 2 times ai into bracket 1 upon x minus ai minus 1 upon x plus ai. Now therefore yn is equal to, that is nth order derivative is 1 upon 2 ai as it is. X minus ai, you treat that okay, I just bring you to the last example, means last lecture example. See yn, see, just have a look on this. Y is equal to 1 upon x plus b bracket raised to m. Here we have the term 1 upon x minus ai. So here b is minus ai, a is 1 and m is also 1. So we are going to use this formula. Got it? Yeah. So by this formula, we get minus 1 raised to n into n factorial, that is m is 1. So hence we get n factorial. In the denominator, x minus ai bracket raised to n plus 1. Yeah, of course, a is not present. A is 1 here actually, not present. असं नाही आहे, इथे a 1 आहे म्हणून तो a raised to n ची लेण्याची गरज नाही. Minus, again same, minus 1 raised to n into n factorial divided by x plus ai bracket raised to n plus 1. From both the terms, we can get minus 1 raised to n into n factorial as a common. So hence one can write this as minus 1 raised to n into n factorial divided by 2ai into bracket 1 upon x minus ai bracket raised to n plus 1 minus 1 upon x plus ai bracket raised to n plus 1. Now I simplify each term separately. As there is a term x minus ai, we use the substitution whenever there is a complex number x plus iy. To change it into polar coordinates, we make a substitution, x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta, where r is equal to square root of x square plus y square and theta is tan inverse of b upon a. Here the term is x minus ai or x minus I into a. So it can be written as x is equal to r cos theta and a is equal to r sin theta. That's very important. So hence your r is equal to square root of x square plus a square and theta will be tan inverse of b, that is a, and a is nothing but x here. And this is similarly this is same for x plus ai also. Hence what I do, I try to get these terms separately. So I starts with 1 upon x minus ai bracket raised to n plus 1. It can be written in the polar form as 1 upon r raised to n plus 1 into cos theta minus I sin n theta. Sorry, not n, it's sin theta bracket raised to n. Now how I wrote this? So whenever there is a number x plus iy, it can be written as r into e raised to I theta, which is nothing but r into cos theta plus I sin theta. So hence, if I have x plus iy raised to n, then it can be given as r raised to n into bracket cos theta plus I sin theta raised to n. So I just follow this, and if there is a minus sign, here I am getting a minus sign. Yeah. Now further, yeah, here bracket raised to n plus 1, because on the left side the power is n plus 1. Further, we apply the de Moivre's theorem to this bracket, and hence we get 1 upon r raised to n plus 1 into bracket cos of n plus 1 theta minus I sin n plus 1 theta. Now if we take that term to the numerator, we get 1 upon r raised to n plus 1 into cos n plus 1 theta. The minus become plus I sin n plus 1 theta. Is it okay? So similarly, one can write 1 upon x plus ai bracket raised to n plus 1 can be written as 1 upon r raised to n plus 1 into bracket cos of n plus 1 theta. The plus become minus I sin n plus 1 theta. Is it okay? Now get this subtraction. 1 upon x minus ai bracket raised to n plus 1 minus 1 upon x plus ai bracket raised to n plus 1. This is your 1 upon x minus ai bracket raised to n plus 1. Now if we go on subtract, if I call this as 1 and this as 2, then if I go for 1 minus 2, then what will be my answer? Yes, of course, 1 upon r raised to n plus 1 is a multiplying factor and which is common. We come outside of the bracket, no doubt. 1 upon r raised to n plus 1. Fine. Now as there is a subtraction, then see this cos n plus 1 theta, and it becomes, and this term becomes minus cos n plus 1 theta. So cos get cancelled, and this minus become plus. So hence we get 2 times 2i times sine of n plus 1 theta. Therefore yn is equal to, now come back to this our original step. I call this as step number star. I have calculated the value of this bracket. I have the coefficient outside. I write it directly. The coefficient is minus 1 raised to n into n factorial upon 2ai into 1 upon r raised to n plus 1 into 2i into sine of n plus 1 theta. Is this okay? Yeah. Now see, there is a term 2i in the denominator, 2i in the numerator. So just remove that term. So we have minus 1 raised to n into n factorial into 1 upon a into 1 upon r raised to n plus 1 into sine of n plus 1 theta. Now come to this. If a is equal to r sine theta, see what I'm expecting in the problem. I want this as my answer. Is it? Now out of that, these terms are getting, this is also we are getting, only the middle sine raised to n plus 1 is missing and a raised to n plus 2. What term I have? A is there. A raised to n plus 1 is still I am expecting. So what I do, I want one sine term, hence I go with the relation a is equal to r sine theta, which I discussed here. See this. x is a is equal to r sin theta. From that statement, one can write r is equal to a upon sin theta. Therefore, this can be written as r raised to n plus 1 will be a raised to n plus 1 upon sin raised to n plus 1 theta. See the term sin raised to n plus 1 theta. Am I getting that? Yes, correct. So, we are on the right track. So, and this implies 1 upon r raised to n plus 1 would be sin raised to n plus 1 theta upon a raised to n plus 1. So, hence this is the reason for the next step, minus 1 raised to n into n factorial into 1 upon a into 1 upon r raised to n plus 1 will be written as sin raised to n plus 1 theta upon a raised to n plus 1 into sin of n plus 1. So, and this is minus 1 raised to n into n factorial into sin raised to n plus 1 theta into sin of n plus 1 theta whole divided by, see the denominator, a into a raised to n plus 1. So, the addition of the power. So, we get a raised to n plus 2. So, which is our expected solution. So, this is a problem where we followed the de Moivre's theorem. So, similarly, you can go with the different examples of this particular type. I will not emphasize more on these particular problems, but everyone should know how to tackle this situation. Okay. So, in the next lecture, I will deal with the Leibniz theorem, which is very important from your examination point of view. So, till that, try to finish our given homeworks and reply me at earliest. Thank you everyone.